Wait, they were like, what?
And I was like, boss, please. Hey bosses, it's Jillian.
And Meghan.
And we're here to bring you the 100th episode of Boss Please.
MG, what is our life? Do you remember like the 100th day of school in first grade in elementary school and everyone had like pizza parties?
Yeah.
This is a huge milestone.
We don't have pizza. I'm disappointed.
It's fine. You have your chai latte. I have my coffee. Is that chai?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I think it is. It's fine. We're adults, so we don't need pizza. Although I always need pizza. It's fine.
I just feel like we have come so far since the very beginning. 100 is a really big deal. I thought 50 was a big deal, but 100 is a huge commitment.
Think of all the wonderful women we've interviewed, how much we've grown, what we've gone through in these past.
How much we've learned.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
It's been really great.
It's been a journey.
I was trying to decide, we usually kind of like look back on guests we loved and things we like to talk about, but we've never truly interviewed each other.
I know.
So I figured it would be kind of cool if maybe we did that for this episode, make things a little bit special. Mm-hmm. So I brainstormed a couple of questions. Meghan brainstormed some questions. We don't know what we're going to ask each other. So let's just start it out.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, let's just go off the top.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm getting deep here.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And I literally
don't know these questions. She did ask me before we hit the record button if I wanted to know what she was going to ask me, and I said no. So
yeah, and I want to know the real answer.
Okay.
Do you feel like you're not at the place you want to be in your career right now?
Oh, 100%. I didn't even have to think about that.
Where did you want to be?
Oh, I absolutely thought that I was going to be regularly on television or regularly on camera at almost 32 years old. I thought I would be settled in something that, was strictly entertainment on camera based, and not realizing that I still would be juggling a million jobs, still wondering where I fit in this on camera realm of what is my entertainment. Is it teeny bopper stuff? Is it entertainment? Is it sports? We're still juggling all that. So, but I do have to say that I don't regret the journey, because am I way more prepared as an on-camera entertainer, spokesperson, journalist than I would have been if I hadn't gone through everything? Absolutely. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Well, to catch you on the flip then, what are some things that you have right now that you didn't think you were going to have?
You mean in terms of on camera or just in general?
In terms of just where you're at in life.
I did not expect my relationship I'm in. That came out of nowhere. I'm very happy, very in love. It was always about my career. It still is, but that was unexpected. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for thinking about a future with him, because before, in just dating, I was like, well, we'll see where it goes, or this is legit. I'm excited. I'm like, okay, I was just telling you, we're thinking about moving in together. We're looking at apartments. So that is a part of this that I did not think I would have. I saw myself solidly in career, but not relationship. And I have that. And I guess the other thing that's kind of, I wouldn't say cliche, but the other thing I have that I didn't is confidence. Especially, I know you and I are still catching up, but especially what I just went through last weekend in my training for Monster Jam. I told myself going into that weekend, if I could do that, I can do anything, because it is a combination of scripted, unscripted, improv, and also having people speak in your ear while you're performing. And I was able to do all of that, and off the cuff questions, and talk about a sport that I don't really know that much about, and learning all of it. So I'm like, okay, I am good. I can do this. And I know that any other audition or on-camera thing that comes my way, I've got it, because I was put through the ringer. So all in all, I'm happy. Can I flip the same question to you, or is that not fair?
Yeah, I can answer that. I am happy where I'm at professionally. I guess looking back a couple of years ago, now I'm the boss. So I think that that's really exciting. I feel like the industry that I'm in is changing every single day. So I think it's changing to the point where I hope it evolves in a direction that I enjoy. I know this podcast has been really fulfilling to me as far as doing things that matter outside of work. And again, you know, I know that entertainment news makes a lot of people happy, but it's also a really big stressor on me. And sometimes I feel like I'm always working. So I do think career-wise, you know, I've made really great strides in voiceover, which was a commitment that I made to myself, and I'm auditioning weekly, and it's all really exciting. So I think that that's definitely a step in the right direction. But I always do think about, you know, the original dream was to be in front of people. And I think about that a lot. I think dreams change. I feel like we're in such a weird space where things are just cutthroat, and you have to be a certain type of person and have a certain type of thick skin to be able to get in front of people and put yourself out there. And if that's not enough, you know, learning the job, knowing what you're doing, it's now you're scrutinized for it on social media. And I don't necessarily know if I can handle that. So I think it was a blessing in a way that my career morphed. And I do think that if I were to be given the opportunity to be on camera, be in front of people, I think I would absolutely thrive in it. I've learned so much over the last, 7 years in LA, 2 years doing this podcast. I've met so many wonderful people. So obviously, if given the opportunity, I would take it, because I did see that that's where I wanted my career to go at one point. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I really answered the question. I just feel like I'm in a good space. Like my life is wonderful. I have a loving partner who's going to be my husband next year, and we're going to be starting a beautiful life together, and it's all really exciting, and I don't know what that means for me career-wise. Again, it could be another pivot. It could be my job morphing into another thing. We really don't know, but one thing that I really value, a quality that I have, is adaptability. And I think it's important to be able to adapt in your surroundings. And if you're unhappy, then you need to carve out a new space for yourself. Yeah. And that's something that I've never been fearful of. So, yeah. Hopefully that answers it. Well
said. I love that. Yeah. And you are a born entertainer, and you and I both went to school for the same thing, and I know we had similar goals, but I think a wonderful thing that you specifically taught me, and I think that we both learned coming out of Emerson, is that there is room for everybody. There in what you think is super competitive and like, oh my gosh, it's either Jill or it's me, but it's not. It's all of us. And so if you want that for yourself, I truly believe that the timing will happen.
It's funny. I was just explaining to my mom the other day about auditioning and that whole process, because honestly, guys, if you're not in that world, you probably really don't get it, which is totally fine, and we can't fault you for it. But my mom was like, you keep telling me that you're nailing all of these auditions, and then you're just not getting it. And I'm like, Mom, you got to understand, it's a casting director that is bringing me in to be in front of a client, and then the client decides whether I'm the right person or not. It has nothing to do with the casting director, who I happen to know. And that's it. And it's like, I've never been the type of person that has felt like I am deserving of this over another person. I am better. It's like, no, I'm just not the person they were looking for.
Exactly.
And that's totally okay. And I feel like people that are this way thrive in these situations. They're not just so hard on themselves. And that's really it. I mean, there'll be opportunities for us down the road, and I feel like there'll be more career journeys for us to go on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you were just talking about not understanding the audition realm if you're not in the acting or, whatever. Because Garrett's mom, she's California Teacher of the Year, and she got invited to be a part of this commercial. I think it's like a state commercial or something. And so she was on the phone the other day. She goes, "Oh, Meghan, I got a call back." And then she's like, but she's like, it's very, there's not a lot of information. I don't really know. And I'm like, oh, welcome to my world. I said, welcome to my world. She's like, I don't know. Like after the callback, like, did I get the job? And it was just so funny.
Listen, lady, you probably won't hear, you probably won't ever see those people ever
exactly.
again.
Or if you hear, it's going to be like 3 months later and you're going to forget you even did it. So whatever. Okay, I guess my question for you, it's not as heavy and it's kind of out there and you're probably going to be like, what? But I was thinking, if you could have 100 of something, what would it be? Sticking with the theme of 100.
Okay, great. So if I could have 100 of something, oh man, animal rights activists are going to kill me. I would have 100 Birkin bags and then I would sell them.
Yes,
because I am an entrepreneur and I know that the resale value for these Birkin bags are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
There you go.
Way
to boss please that.
Make the cash.
That comment. Love
Let's
it.
do it. Listen, I don't have any of these bags. So don't get on me. Like I get it. You know, it's really bad to kill animals and make purses, but yeah, I'll take the money. Yeah. I'm planning a wedding.
Heck
let's
yes.
be real.
Heck yes.
Real. Okay, what about you?
I was thinking about this question. I was like, oh my gosh, 100 of things. Like, but I think I would want 100 more minutes in the day.
Why?
Because
I love sleep. Would you sleep through it or would you use it?
That's the point. You could utilize it for anything. You could utilize it for sleep. You could utilize it to get work done. But I think we are so programmed to work, to dinner, to bed. Like, what if you just had 100 more minutes? That's like another hour and a half, basically. What if you just had 100 more minutes, like, watch some more TV or spend time with a friend?
Yeah, you could probably, like, watch Hocus Pocus on Freeform.
Like I literally did last night. So, you know what I mean? I literally watched Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus. I was like, Garrett, it's fall. Woo! But yeah, I don't know. I know it's a lot, but I was like, there's so many times I find myself thinking, oh, I just had more hours or just had more minutes. So I don't know. But yeah, maybe that's aggressive.
Okay, so actually, this kind of fits since you just kind of opened up about this new job that you're taking on and how you're not maybe as knowledgeable as some other people would be about the sport and what the job entails in general. What do you do or say when people doubt you? Like, did you encounter that at all in the last week or so? Or no? Okay.
The one thing I have to commend about Feld Entertainment is that I have never felt more
like rooted for?
Forgive me, you guys. I'm still tired. My brain isn't working and my words aren't coming. But I've never felt more appreciated for who I am in my own skin. My weight doesn't matter. My raspy voice doesn't matter. My over bubbliness doesn't matter. Whereas in auditions past, people have been like, tone down the energy, smooth out your voice. Maybe if you lost another 10 to 15 pounds. Feld does not care. They picked me and they love me for me, and they are so willing to dedicate the time to work with me. So I am the most comfortable I can be when I'm out there talking about monster trucks that I know nothing about.
Totally.
But the good thing about it is it's so geared towards families that you're supposed to talk to children. I don't need to be talking about motors and how much horsepower and all this stuff. I'm talking to kids. They're just seeing their toys come to life in a big arena, the toys that they play with, you know, every weekend. They're just like, wow, they're right in front of me doing all these crazy things. So that's what was the original question? Do I ever feel I want to relate it to something other than Monster Jam?
What do you do when people, you know, say that you can't do things? Like, how do you prove them wrong?
Oh, yeah. I think that's you and I just in our entirety throughout our entire life. You're constantly proving people wrong. I mean, I think the start of it was, of course, everything we had to do from high school and college, but moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, I mean, how many people probably had doubts like, oh, they're going to be back.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're still here. So I think it's a constant battle proving people wrong. And it's unfortunate. But at the same time, it's what gives you your fire. That's when people are like, oh, I don't think she can do that. I want to put up a big middle finger and be like, watch me. That's what keeps me going sometimes.
Yeah.
So
I think for me, I haven't really felt that in a really long time because I've kind of been on top for the last couple of years, at least with my full-time job. So for me, I guess I've been lucky. I mean, I'm scrappy, so I've proved people wrong my entire life, like you said, and I just show up and show out, and that's how I prove people wrong. And I study, and I ace every test, and that's just, I think we've both been that way, where if we're given materials to like study and look over, we'll have it, no problem. If we take direction really well, we care.
Yeah.
So I think to prove people wrong, like, it's almost a battle within myself, like to prove myself wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think we do a lot of self-doubt talk, and that's something that I constantly work on. So for instance, with this voiceover stuff, in the back of my head, I'm always kind of thinking like, oh, like, I wonder why I'm not getting this stuff. I know that I'm good. What is it? What can I do to change? And it's just really about showing up and continuing to audition and continuing to show people that you're out there and continuing to do something as simple as introduce yourself. Every time I'm in an audition room with these other women who don't want to talk to me, I'm like, hi, I'm Jillian. How are you? Shake hands, shake hands, shake hands. Remember all their names, say goodbye to them. Because I never know if I'm going to be working with these people. I might as well be friends with them. Why do we have to be enemies?
You're right. So
I think it's weird. Like, I thrive on proving people wrong, even though I haven't had to do it in a while. So yeah, that's interesting. I haven't really, even though I wanted to ask you that, I haven't really thought about that for myself.
No, but
for a while.
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, what do you think has changed about you the most from when we started this podcast to now?
That's literally the next question I was going to ask you.
Stop
so
it, girl.
It's perfect because we can end on it.
Stop
we'll
it.
Answer it.
Oh my God.
I have it in my notes. I'll show you after.
Okay, I believe you.
So since we started this podcast,
when was it? Like, I want to. Like,
it was August
2017.
2017.
Okay. Yes.
So I'm pretty sure I already had my promotion. So I was already the boss. So as far as things changing, I would say a lot of stuff with my health has changed. Some for the better, some for the worst. But we're hanging in there and we're pulling through. A lot of stuff with my personal life, my relationship, all for the good. That I'm getting married next year, which is so freaky to think about. I'm like, after we're done with this podcast, I want to talk to you about bridesmaids dresses and all these things. So that's really great. And I don't know, just feeling like this place in LA is finally home. Like, I still get homesick, but it's not as bad as it was. And I know that probably like kills my parents a little bit, but I just feel so at home here. I feel so comfortable here. I've built a great community around me of amazing men and women that I choose to spend my time with. And I have an adorable apartment, and I get paid, and I'm able to enjoy myself off of that money. And I really do. And I think that that's something that I will say, I was really afraid before 100 episodes ago, probably putting self-care as a priority. And since, we've done this podcast, we've gone through these things, not only have I gone to therapy, but also I've spent more money on myself, my well-being, whether it be massages, acupuncture, meditation, facials, whatever I think is self-care and relaxation. I've made a priority to do that and not felt any sort of remorse for it.
Nor should you.
Yeah. So that's me. What about you?
I love that.
A lot has changed. I'm like thinking about how much we've talked about in your life, because you've been very honest.
Yeah.
A lot has changed.
Well, I was thinking about when you said August 2017, I went back and I was in a very weird place when we first started, because I just was getting into what I thought was a great relationship, which ended up being abusive and toxic, which I've opened up a lot about on this podcast. And also, I ended a job that I loved. My contract wasn't renewed at Clever, and I was so upset about that. So I thought I was happy in love, very sad in work, and then ended up going through the ringer because of the abuse, and then coming out on the other side, which was probably mid last year. And I just think I've grown a lot as a person. I'm wiser. I am a better friend, I think. We joke about it sometimes about me being self-absorbed, and I call it I say only child syndrome, not an only child. I have a wonderful sister, but the way I was raised, it was very much all about me. And I think throughout this podcast, I've learned, obviously, Jill is my best friend and someone worth going out on a limb for, and realizing those people that are worth it. So just meeting all these wonderful women and working with you as an entrepreneur as well as a friend has made me just more aware of what I have to give and what I need to keep giving, because those people are worth it, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Adorable. I love it.
This was a good one.
I think this was good. Yeah. I hope you guys learned a little more about us. We try to be as transparent as possible on here. So if there's anything else you guys want to know, we're always looking for real talk topics for the top of our show. So if you have any, feel free to send to us on social media. And since this is episode 100, we deserve some time off. So we are taking 2 weeks off. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand spanking new episode. The first guest we have is awesome. Her name is Gigi Ashworth.
Oh my gosh.
She is, if you guys are into the keto diet craze, you are going to want to listen to this next episode that's coming out in 2 weeks. She talks all about the diet, all about how it's influenced her life. She's a cookbook author and just hilarious. So we'll see you guys really soon, and have a good couple of weeks without us.
All right. Bye. Guys. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at BossPleasePod. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe on iTunes. Navigate the path to your best self with us, because bossing together is always better.